Hey, what's up, everybody? It's hashtag Cardboy Cole here, and I'm with hashtag Cardboy Rowan Ryko.
What's going on, guys? We're here today with a deck profile, finally, because we've been talking about it forever. This is my own personal deck profile for, of course, Centur-ion. Gurren Lagann is my favorite anime, favorite mech, just favorite everything, period. So when they released a archetype that was literally Gurren Lagann in all the best ways, I had to buy it. I had to use it. I even got all the CR stuff, which I'll show off here in a bit. I don't care if it ends up being absolutely trash. It's decent for sure, and they didn't ban Calamity on the most recent list. Thanks, Konami.
Yeah.
So fuck it. I'll play it. I'll love it. Even if it's bad, hey,
And,
log on. I don't
it's
care.
a halfway decent deck.
It's pretty good. I mean, and I preface this with I haven't entered really any tournaments. I've really only played with friends. We all try to stay at least decently aware of what's going on, and you'll see that in the actual build itself.
halfway competitive, at least.
Yeah.
Halfway competitive.
It's just we don't always have a chance to enter the tournament, so we're always there, and I'm always trying to keep it. I call myself a competitive casual.
Yeah.
I play casually, but like as best as possible. So if I jump in a tournament, I'm still confident I can leave 2-2. I'll give myself I can at least get 2 wins, no matter what. Hey, I topped our locals once. Have you? No, loser. Anyway, of course you start out with the basics. 3 Centur-ion Primera. She is the starter for everything. She's what gets you going. Basically, most of the monsters in this deck, it's like 16 one-card starters, even though they're technically 1.5 because the field spell does require a discard, but you kind of get that back when you summon the Synchro monster because it gives you a draw. But Primera, you normal summon her, you search the field spell, or if you happen to hard draw it, search any Centur-ion card, and then they all have the base effect, which I'm not going to keep repeating, is if they are treated as a face-up continuous trap, they can summon themselves forward, and they can only be special summoned once per turn. They all have that effect, with varying otherwise. The next one, which also gets you into full combo, is Centur-ion Trudea, because what she does, you normal summon her, put her back in the spell and trap zone as a trap, and you can set another one in the back row, which is the next one I'm going to show off, and then you could like if you open her and not Primera, you summon her, put Primera back here, summon Primera forward, Primera effect a search, etc., etc. But the main one you normally put back with Trudea is 1 Emeth. I only play the 1. I'm playing around with maybe using 2, but I don't run Desires in my build currently, so the 1 is fine. And as you can see, they're all collector rare because I like shiny stuff, especially for my jank. Then the other like main thing of the deck is the field spell, Stand Up Centur-ion, which on activation, or you can only use this effect when it's been activated this turn. During your main phase, it was activated this turn. You can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and then put a Centur-ion monster from your deck in your face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. And then anytime a monster is special summoned, you can immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon a monster, including a Centur-ion monster you control. So that's how you synchro summon in your opponent's turn to summon the big lock that I'll show you later. And of course, this is the most Gurren Lagann. This is literally the art on the box art of the Gurren Lagann box that I have behind me. It's literally the same thing. Then the other super good but not searchable Centur-ion card is Embla Oath. This lets you basically do whatever you need to. I get why they made it non-searchable because it's really good, but why is it not searchable, Konami? Why did you do this again?
Konami's been doing that a lot lately.
I get
Soul that.
I get it, but why?
Actually, quite a few.
I get it, but why? Really,
it's out there. Oh,
so
Memento's got that as
yeah,
well.
It's a quick play. You can place 1 Centur-ion monster from your deck in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap for the rest of this turn. While you control that card or any card with the same original name, you cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck except Centur-ion monster, so it locks you into summon Legacia. But all you have to do is just get that card off the field, and you're good to go. Or set 1 Centur-ion spell trap directly from your deck, and you can only use 1 of each, 1 per turn. So like if you don't have Primera, and you just don't have a way to the field spell, you can set the field spell or use this for the set bonds or the trap card or whatever, or you can set Primera down here, summon her forward, etc., etc. For the spells and traps, I run the Centur-ion Bond just as a 1-up because they're both searchable. I also play around with using Truth Centur-ion because that's a counter trap. It is good, but it seems like everyone's come to the consensus that one and one of these two is the best route. Bonds, it basically just felicitates everything for you as a nice one-off to help you recur advantage for the grind game. You can take a Centur-ion monster from your hand or graveyard and put it in your spell and trap zone as a trap. And then if a Centurion Synchro monster is special summoned to your field while this card's in your graveyard, you can banish it and place one of your Centurions in your graveyard in your back row as a trap card. So great recursion, pretty easy to do. And Phalanx, it's just a good disruption. You can target one face-up monster on the field and banish it. And then during the next standby phase, summon it to the owner's field. And you can banish this card from your graveyard and target a Centur-ion Synchro in your graveyard and summon it, but it loses 1500 attack. That's no big deal because the Geisha protects all your monsters with 2000 or less attack from being destroyed by battle, I believe. So even if you do that, she's still protected by her own effect. Or where's that? Where is it? Yeah, because the stand-up is the one that's immune to destruction where you control a Centur-ion monster. But Legatia gives you that protection effect. So even if it's weaker, it still can't be destroyed, and you can still use its effect during the end phase and all that. Pretty decent little trap. Then as for the end, that's all for the main deck, or the Centur-ion part of the deck. Next, we're playing the engine that makes the most sense.
Everyone's favorite.
It's the Horus engine. I will play a little bit more of names than maybe I should, but I'm playing around with the ratios. I kind of like where it is right now. So, of course, we have Imseti. Discard it and another card. Add King Sarcophagus. Draw a card.
Easy plus.
And then I also add in Happy. Quibi Hesnuef. I actually know how to say that. I may be saying it slightly wrong, but it's about what it says. Quibi Hesnuef. And then Dualmatif. I can maybe cut these down, just maybe stick with Happy, but I kind of like having the extra names. And they're all level 8s, which goes well with a level 4 Synchro, or level 4 Tuner Primera to go into level 12s. And of course, King of Sarcophagus, up to 4 times per turn. Discard a card, send a name to graveyard, and they can all be summoned. This is the only thing that gets you over that 4 and might get you in trouble with Nibiru, because this deck normally, in just a pure, can hit the Legatia on summon 4, so you get away from Nib. By adding in like Fenrir, which I don't play Fenrir, I might, but I don't play him right now. This can get you in that danger zone. But if you summon 2 of these first, or the other little engine I have here, you can set up a negate before you get there. So they do have Nib. You're already set for that. I'll go into that more when I get close to the extra deck. For the other small engine I play, it's just the Vision Resonator engine, 2-in-1. Because this is a good discard, especially if you let's say you open Imseti and Vision, you can discard Vision with Imseti, add King Sarcophagus, draw a card, and then as soon as that resolves, you get this to add Crimson Gaia, activate Crimson Gaia, add Crimson Resonator. And since, let's say you need a level 5 or higher Dark monster, hey, guess what? The level 8 Glory of Horus, that's a free Baron right there. Or yes, whatever, sir. Level 10, that's not Dispatter. Technically, you can also go into Chaos Angel, but that's neither here nor there. The next, just a quick one of Terraforming, just to help get this field spell.
Makes the deck tick.
Pretty straightforward. You run 1, 2, 3, basically 7 ways to get to the field spell. You can kind of say more than that, but, you know. And then the joy of this deck being so thin on the actual main deck of it all, you can play a whole bunch of hand traps. So
interruptions, oh my.
Yeah, so I'm playing 3 Ash because it's Ash.
Yep.
Joel's really good right now. I might bump this up to 3, but right now she's at 2. 2 Veiler. Hand traps can hit you. If the right hand trap comes at the right time, it can mess you up like a properly timed Imperm, Ash. Joel only really hurts the extra stuff. You only really search once if you're just doing the main combo, so it's not that big of a deal. Ogre can come up, but nobody's playing Ogre. If you're that worried about it, put it in. I was siding it for a bit, but I think I took it out. Ogre can be an issue, but they're not playing it only for you. So you don't really need to worry about it. But what do I know? That's also why I play Cross Out, so you can hit the Imperm, you can hit the Ash, Droll, whatever, and save yourself. Because if they hit you with the 1 at the right time, you're kind of stuck where you're at. That's also why I play Called By to help with the monsters, so I can deal with any of the monster hand traps, and if they use Imperm or something, I can use Cross Out to hit the stuff that I can't hit with Called By. Then, of course, because people are going to try to hand trap you, 2 Triple Tactics Talent, pretty straightforward. Draw 2 cards, take control of a monster, or look at your opponent's hand and spin 1. Why not? And then 2 Imperm. It's Imperm. The one downside is set it with stuff that you want to set. Like you could technically set this and set this. Is that your back row is really going to be full. Because usually you got Trudea, Primera, King Sarcophagus and or Gaia, and then you have like one zone that's left open. So you got to be careful about that and play smart and make sure you don't accidentally fully lock yourself out of your zones when you need them. Granted, you can always summon them forward, basically whenever, but you want to be smart about it. As for the extra deck, I got IP Masquerena and Little Knight. You don't get locked into synchros really at all, except for off Embla Oath, but you can rectify that pretty easily. So just in case you get stuck somewhere, or there is no nib to be worried about, you can make these with the extra stuff you summon, like the horror stuff, or even Vision Resonator if you don't want to go into the synchro. And SP Little Knight, it's too good not to. If you can get away with playing it, might as well. This is where I might cut stuff down, but I have 4 Exceeds. We have Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. This is one of the ways I can stop you from getting nibbed. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can attach a material and negate that card. So if you get to do the horror stuff first, summon back Imseti and Happy, make this, and you're good on any hand trap and or nib they may have for you. Dingirsu is just a good generic level, rank 8. Doesn't hurt. I might cut him. I don't know, because I do kind of want to put Typhon in here. I've been playing around with it. It's not in there now, but I kind of want to. Just one of the best rank 8s. That's just generic. Hope Harbinger. You summon it. No spell cards. Easy peasy. And then Zeus, got the ulti Zeus. You got plenty of Exceeds to go into, and sometimes you just gotta summon a big Gundam robot-ass thing and nuke the board. He also fits well with the theme because giant robots and combining and all that. I think he just fits the theme too, which is why I kind of want to put Typhon in here. One, for thematic purposes, because he looks super cool, but also he is just a good card and can out a lot of stuff. Then for the synchros, which is everything else, we got Baron, Chaos Angel, and Dispatter for our 10s. I'm probably going to cut Dispatter because I can't actually summon it. This is probably going to be... this is probably what I'm going to change for Typhon, because I can only summon him off Crimson Dragon, which I'll get into later, but I'd rather just not do that. But you can, and it's not bad. I might keep him in, but if I'm going to switch out for something I can more generically summon, it'd probably be Typhon, because he can't be summoned normally in the deck. He has to be summoned off Crimson Dragon, which isn't bad, but you know what I mean. And then Chaos Angel, just good. Monsters like it's only going to be in darks, unfortunately, because there's no light to really get away with using. But having your monsters can't be destroyed by battle, it just makes everything immune to battle. So it goes beyond what Legacia protects, so just 2,000 or lower, it just does everything. And then same thing like I was saying, if you get Imseti in Graveyard or King of Sarcophagus and you have Vision and Vision Resonator in hand, you can summon a Baron, so you have a negate to go into your other plays and have Baron just waiting there to catch a stray hand trap, or if they try to nib you, you got that to protect yourself. Then the level 12s, we of course do. I do 2 Legacia. You can do 3. Some people have been playing 3. You can. I just kind of like the 2. You can kind of recycle it pretty decently. It's not too hard. But she's the main thing you want to go into during your turn. Monster with 2,000 less attack, can't be destroyed by battle. Can only use each of these effects once per turn. If this card special summon, draw a card. So it makes up what you lost for the field spell. And then you can destroy one monster your opponent controls with the highest attack, and you choose if they have it. So going first doesn't really do much, but having that is nice. And notice it says if this card is special summoned, draw a card, then destroy it. So it's not just synchro summoned. If you summon it back with like Centur-ion Phalanx, you get the draw and pop. Easy peasy. During the end phase, you can take one of your non-synchro Centurions and put it in your back row. Normally Primera, because Trudea will set itself back. I'll explain that here in a second. Pretty straightforward. Good card. Really good card. Especially for a generic rank 12. We need more generic rank 12s. And then we got Crimson Dragon, of course, who's on the mat, if you couldn't tell. This is the homie. And then what Crimson Dragon felicitates. They didn't ban it. They didn't ban Hot Red Dragon Archer and King Calamity. It can miss timing, so you have to do it right. He has to be the first thing to go off. But if you can summon it, yeah, it probably ended that turn. There's ways around it. It's not infallible. Like I said, it can miss timing, but they didn't ban it. And if I can potentially just end your turn and go for game with a having a 4K monster here and a 3500 Legatia right next to it, I need 500 points of damage to win. And I can just normal summon basically any card in my deck and do that. Obviously, it's not good against every matchup, like Labyrinth and stuff. They can just set their whole hand. That's why you have stuff like this. Cosmic Blazar, just a giant Omni Negate for whatever you need. Perfect. And then I use Red Supernova Dragon, because it's another thing for like Labyrinth or what have you. As soon as they activate something, banish their whole field. And then he'll come back during my end phase. So, easy peasy. Easy peasy. And for the side decks are all optional. It's all subjective. It varies per your area, what tournament you're going to, what you expect to see, what you don't expect to see. So this is just a rough idea I have right now, which I'm always playing around and changing. 2 Triple Tactics Thrust. Pretty straightforward. And for basically everything from here on out, minus the monsters, are just targets for Thrust. Like I got Evenly, I can get off Thrust. I got my 3rd Imperm, the 3rd Talents, which I might cut this. Harpy's Feather Duster. Back row is bad. Dark Ruler, Lightning Storm. Again, I don't like back row, or if I just need to clear your monster's field, or clear the monsters off your field, turn them off, and then go smack into them. On Master Duel, I use this, and someone thought their Hope Harbinger could negate it, or negate another spell later. Read the cards. You can't respond to this, and it negates effects. A spicy little tech choice I have is Herald of the Abyss. It's just kind of fun. Good way to clear some stuff out. And yeah, it does pay life points, so that might be an issue in time, but I only play the one, and it's a talent's target anyway, so I can always cut it if I need to. I just think this is kind of neat. And then for the monsters, like I said, I do have the 1 Ogre. I guess I did leave her in. Just if you think it's an issue, put it into your deck. You have cross out. You can just have the 1 target. You might bump this to 2 if you're that worried, just so in case if you happen to draw 1, cross out's not dead. But I only have the 1 right now. I got my other Droll, got my other Veiler, and 3 Nib, because you can potentially get nibbed. And if you want to main, and also it's just good right now as well. People summoning too many monsters, you drop a big rock on them. Then during your turn, you summon Legatia, pop the highest attack point monster, which is going to be their token, bar none. And that's the easy way to get rid of it, and you just go from there. And also, if you think you might get nibbed, again, you have cross out. If you do like the horror stuff first, and that will put you over 5, you do have the option to cross out Nibiru to protect yourself. Overall, I like the deck. I'm having fun. It's very malleable. You can do a lot with it because the main deck is so little. Pause. Talking too much. But just an example of what you need here. So let's just go Primera. I'm certain by now most of you know how this deck works, but for sake of, I got Primera and just a nothing card. Summon Primera. Search the field spell. Stand up Centur-ion. Activate Stand up Centur-ion. Then discard the nothing card. Put back Trudea. Trudea. Summon herself forward. Use Trudea effect. You can't really see her. Trudea effect. Put herself in the back row. And put Emmet in the back row. Then Emmet effect. Summon itself forward. Synchro. Turn it up just a bit so I can go for it. Synchro into 8 or 12. Legatia. Draw a card. It doesn't really matter, but look, I drew a Primera. Doesn't matter if you just have the draw card, so it couldn't be a hand trap or whatever. During your end phase, you target Primera, summon her back. Then because when you go into your opponent's turn, they get the first action because they have player priority because it's their turn. You gotta let them do something. Then whatever they do, you can respond as such. Because they're trap cards and they can be activated during your opponent's turn. That's why they did. Some people are like, why do they make them trap cards? So they can be activated during your opponent's turn. You can't activate spell cards during your opponent's turn. You can't activate spell cards, you know. But you summon Primera, Chainlink 1. Trudea, summon herself, Chainlink 2, and she also makes herself a level 8 when she summons herself forward. Then you Chainlink 3, because it's only activated during your opponent's turn. You can summon Emmet from the graveyard by putting 1 back. So you put back Trudea. So you get the search off Primera. Usually in this instance, I'll go for Bonds. Just because. You can obviously just go for another stand-up Centur-ion, depending on how it goes. Because if this... On stand-up Centur-ion, you can only do the discard place one in the back row effect when the card is activated. The initial activation of this card. So you can't do it the next turn. You have to use a new copy to do that. So you can go into another stand-up, but you can also search bonds, which I usually search bonds. You don't have to, but it all depends the game state of what you're in, just to have that for recursion later. And then since you met the requirement for the field spell, you go into 8. I keep saying 8. Go into 12. Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon effect. Targeting Legacia. Shuffle him back. And ta-da. You have Hot Red Dragon Archer and King Calamity. And when he's summoned, effect, hey, guess what? Anything on your field is turned off. Now, like I said, you can also go into Red Supernova or Cosmic Blazer, just depending on the matchup situation you're in. You know, pretty straightforward. Like I said, you could also end up with the Horus engine. You can go into rank 10s that way, or level 10s. Like you can have Vision and Imseti make Baron and have that Baron negate there as well, and the pop. Or you can go into Chaos Angel just to have more protection. You can also go into the rank 8s, like I said. I really like this one. Or I've also been playing around with Heretics, the Sky Heretics Sun Dragon Overlord, or whatever. The one that's like Heretic Sky Dragon, because he stops your opponent from targeting card if your opponent targets a card. So like if they have Ash, if you're worried, like I said, the Ogre, you can use that, or Veiler Imperm. That one can negate that effect. So this one just negates monster effects, whereas the Sky Dragon negates targeting effects. So it's a good way to stop those kind of negates as well, or like Ogre and negates. So you have options. The deck, like I said, the deck is very malleable. You can get into a lot of stuff. I do think the Horus is the best engine for it, for sure.
I mean, Horus is just best engine period right now. Let's be honest.
It's pretty good, and obviously it wasn't touched on the ban list, so you can can kind of they got to make their money first, and they haven't even thought about reprints yet. And there's no way, like it's busted, but it's not too overpowered. Yeah. A lot of decks can use it, but it's not too much. I said I like the deck. It's fun. You can do a lot with it. There's a lot of options. You can play Fenrir. You can do pure. Just load up with even more interruptions and just say you are not going to play your turn, and then I'm going to summon a bunch of guys and kill you then and there. I do think worrying about going second is the issue, because this is definitely going first. You want to set up your lock as soon as possible. But going second, you can summon big negates and just big bodies. Like you're already at 35, and you can easily summon another 4K, or if you use the additional engines in there, you get big monsters. And of course, like I said, you have the Exceeds in the grave, or in the extra deck. You can go into Zeus. Again, I've been playing around with Typhon. Typhon's a good option to put in too. I just don't have him in here right now. Like I said, I might cut Dispatter for him. But yeah, I think it's fun. Check it out. It is kind of expensive right now. I did spend a lot of money, and as you can see, I did spend the money because I wanted the shiny cards.
But hey, it might have been an investment, because you never know. This might have a chance to pop off.
Remember, Rescue Ace was absolutely garbage, and they released like one card, boom, and the same thing with Vanquish Soul. People were dissing on it. It was doing all right, and they added was it Jinlong, I think, or
for Vanquish Soul.
Yeah, the new one, and it boosted consistency. And this one is basically guaranteed to at least get one more card in a main set, probably sometime mid-next year. And that could be, whatever that is, could set the deck over the top even more. So, also, I just love Synchros. You can't tell by the Crimson Dragon in the back, I love Synchros. It's a fun deck. I have, basically all my decks are Synchro related in some regard. So, I think it's fun. And being able to summon a Calamity is neat, because not as easy to summon a Red Dragon as you think. I know, because I play it. But it'll probably get banned at some time. I'm hoping they give us more support, so this is not the only thing the deck is known for. I would like it to be more, because it is more versatile than people get it credit for, but at the same time, you are just trying to summon Calamity and end the game right then and there. It's not rocket surgery. But if you like what you see, leave a like down below and subscribe for more content like this. Hopefully more deck profiles in the future and more just cardboard content in general.
For sure. We were going to do a deck profile on yours truly, just to have deck profiles of the Cardbois, if you will, but with the new list that just dropped as of yesterday, a lot of my decks are going to be changing, so didn't really think it was that relevant to actually show off something that's just going to change immediately, just to
Yeah.
show progress.
We have a bad habit of, we're finally going to do some deck profiles, and the ban list just kind of swings by. So.
Yeah, so Emerald Gamer hashtag Cardbois Cole's deck profile coming soon, with some tournament data too, maybe, possibly, who knows?
We'll see. We're trying to get in more of it. That I like playing in tournaments, it's just finding the time, and it do be like that sometimes. But like I said, I've been hashtag Cardbois around Ryko. Check me on my channel as well, and don't forget to check out the Mineral Gamers for all of our fun content between Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, figure reviews, gaming content. We do damn near everything, so go check it out.
Hashtag Cardbois.